Democrats stood firm, refusing to back Trump's sudden demands. The quick fix by the Republican leaders also failed to gain traction. Lawmakers couldn't secure the two-thirds majority needed for the plan to pass. The bill fell short, failing 174 to 235. Now, this is a significant blow for Trump and his ally Elon Musk. Both had strongly opposed the bipartisan compromise reached earlier to avoid a holiday season shutdown. The US government has requested the Supreme Court to reject a petition filed by Mumbai attack convict Tahavvur Rana opposing his extradition to India. New Delhi has sought Rana's extradition for his alleged involvement in the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. Rana is a Canadian citizen of Pakistani origin, currently detained in a Los Angeles prison. Rana faces charges related to the attacks. He is linked to Pakistani-American terrorist David Coleman Headley, a key conspirator in the 26/11 attacks. Vladimir Putin is prepared to meet US President-elect Donald Trump, quote-unquote, whenever, indicating potential openness to talks to end the Ukraine war. The Russian leader has said that Moscow is ready for compromises. Kremlin sources believe Putin is aiming for a ceasefire deal that would force Kiev to give up on its NATO ambitions and limit the size of its army. Listen in to what the Russian president has to say.
Отношения друг друга и как мы делаем основано на полном доверии. Ну, во-первых, я не знаю, когда мы с ним встретимся, потому что он об этом ничего не говорит. Я с ним вообще не разговаривал более 4 лет. И я готов к этому, конечно, в любое время. Готов буду и ко встрече, если он захочет этого.
Luigi Mangione, the suspect charged in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, has waived his right to an extradition hearing. Mangione was flown from Pennsylvania to New York. The federal government has filed 4 criminal charges against him, including one punishable by death. The 26-year-old will remain behind bars, as his lawyers said they would not yet present an application for bail. The suspect is being held at Metropolitan Detention Center in New York's Brooklyn. Doctors Without Borders, also known as the MSF, has accused Israel of ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Now, the accusations were labeled in a report titled Gaza, Life in a Death Trap, documenting the 14-month Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, the report documents 41 attacks on MSF staff, including airstrikes on health facilities and direct fire on humanitarian convoys. MSF's report highlights that the siege of the Palestinian territory has drastically reduced humanitarian aid, with only 37 trucks authorized daily in October 2024, compared with 500 before the war. Top US diplomats have arrived in Damascus to meet new Syria leaders in their first visit since Assad's ousting. Now, the State Department has said that the delegation will speak directly with HTS leaders and seek clues on missing Americans, including journalist Austin Tice. The US had officially designated HTS as a terrorist organization. Israel launched widespread airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen, killing at least 9 people in the port city of Hodeidah. Israel even threatened more attacks against one group that launched hundreds of missiles at Israel over the past year. According to local media, dozens of combat jets along with fueling and intelligence aircraft took part in the raids. Here's what the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had to say.
חמאס, חיזבאללה, משטר אסד בסוריה, החות'ים הם כמעט הזרוע האחרונה שנשאר לציר הרשע של איראן. הם לומדים והם ילמדו בדרך הקשה שמי שפוגע בישראל משלם על כך מחיר כבד מאוד.
Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is on a 3-day visit to Mauritius beginning today. This is the first high-level engagement between India and Mauritius after formation of the new government in the island nation. The External Affairs Ministry has said that Misri's visit reflects the priority that India attaches to its relations with Mauritius under its security and growth for all in the region vision, Africa forward policy and commitment to the global south. A Romanian appeals court has ruled that the human trafficking case against influencer Andrew Tate, his brother Tristan Tate, and 2 Romanian women cannot proceed to trial. Now, the decision was based on multiple legal and procedural errors by prosecutors. They are accused of human trafficking and forming a criminal gang that sexually exploited women. Andrew Tate is also facing an additional charge of rape. However, it does not mean that the Tates or the 2 women will be released. The case remains open and a separate legal case against the brothers is also ongoing. Fire at a warehouse in Taiwan has left at least 9 dead and 7 wounded. Local media is reporting that the fire started shortly before 1:30 p.m. local time with over 20 people stranded. One person jumped from a 3rd-floor balcony to escape the fire but sadly succumbed to his injuries. First responders were seen at the scene moving injured people on stretchers. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte is on a visit to a military training site in Bulgaria. He inspected the activities of a multinational unit set up as a response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Rutte emphasized on the importance to ensure the alliance continues to provide military assistance, training and advice to Ukraine so that Kiev can one day start peace talks from a position of strength. Listen in.
Bulgaria is also helping Ukraine to defend against the Russian aggression, and I want to thank you for your great contribution to help Ukraine to be able one day to start talks on a peace deal from a position of strength, and that is what we need to achieve.
The Georgia Court of Appeals has ruled to disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Williams from prosecuting the case against U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and his alleged co-conspirators. The charges are related to the alleged subversion of the 2020 election. The long-awaited decision comes in a state criminal case that has already faced delays. Now, the ruling raises questions about whether the case can actually proceed in court or not. The appeals court determined that Willis's office is not eligible to handle the prosecution. A special prosecutor will now need to be appointed for the case to continue. India has been the country receiving highest remittances globally for years now. This year was no different. India topped the list of recipient countries for remittances in 2024, receiving an estimated inflow of $129 billion, followed by Mexico at $68 billion and China at $48 billion. India has steadily been receiving remittances of over $100 billion each year for the last 5 years, except in 2020 when the COVID-19 wave had peaked. That year, India saw an inflow of $83 billion. In the last 10 years, India's overall remittances have grown by 57%. Justice Kyra Harris Bolden is the first black woman to serve on the Michigan Supreme Court after her appointment in 2022. Now the Detroit area jurist is the first black woman to be elected to the bench. Take a listen.
Being the first black woman on the Michigan Supreme Court is obviously an honor, and we have to think about there are so many people that weren't able to see themselves represented on the court until this time. For me, just being a new mom and having other women that are mothers that understand that perspective, and maybe just saying, hey, daycares are closed this week, but it makes a difference because we actually govern. We actually make court rules at the Michigan Supreme Court. A lot of people don't know that.
Hanzuacheng Bridge, China's largest spatial inclined and eccentric tide arch bridge, successfully completed its load test on Thursday. Now, this comprehensive check before the bridge opens to traffic lays a solid foundation for its opening at the end of the year. The bridge is located in Swanshu city, spanning a total length of 1,119.5 meters. It stands out as a remarkable engineering feat. New Year and new resolutions. In January 2025, Belgium will become the first European Union country to ban sales of disposable vapes because of concerns about their use among children and the environmental damage they can cause. Now, this move is part of an anti-tobacco drive in the Western European country, where government data shows most young smokers start the habit with electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes rather than regular tobacco cigarettes. Germany and France are working on laws to ban single-use vapes. Britain, no longer an EU member, will ban their sale in June. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Britain's King Charles III have spoken on the phone. The two leaders reaffirmed India-UK ties and exchanged greetings for Christmas and the New Year. They also exchanged views on the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa, which was held in October. PM Modi did not attend that meeting.
This is an urgent appeal from UNICEF UK. Conflict in Gaza is cutting off supplies of food, medicine and clean water. Thousands of children are malnourished and sick. UNICEF is working non-stop, providing life-saving therapeutic food for children like 2-year-old Lean, who's receiving urgent treatment for severe malnutrition. Her story is just one of thousands. Search UNICEF UK Gaza online or text Gaza to 84903 or scan the QR code to find out how you can help. £39 could provide life-saving therapeutic food for up to 3 children for 1 week. Whatever you can afford, your vital gift will help UNICEF provide life-saving supplies to children and families in Gaza during this devastating crisis. Search UNICEF UK Gaza or text Gaza to 84903 and help bring hope for children caught in this conflict today.
There once was a tree, lovingly made to look real, yet looking real wasn't enough. It wanted to be real. One night it wondered, where are my roots? And an answer came. Your roots will grow within the hearts of those around you as you create very real memories. And for the first time, the tree felt real joy. Shop Boxing Day deals at balsamhill.co.uk.
There's a new lotto in town. Lotto 3. Match 3 numbers in order plus 2 bonus letters and you could win big.
Well, my friends in the US have been raving about this forever. And now, I finally get to play.
On average, 1 in every 7 tickets is a winner. They are some seriously good odds.
£25,000 can be won every hour. That's a whopping £600,000 every day. Text your 3 lucky numbers to 88333 or visit lotto3.com.
When you're setting up a new nest, starting your own flock, or they just keep on growing. Get the flexibility you need with VeryPay. Pay now, pay later, or pay over 3 months and pay no interest. We'll even send you helpful payment reminders. Shop the online store for fashion, home and more. VeryPay. Ways to pay that work your way. Quickly remove unwanted hairs with the new U Body and Face Trimmer from JML. Your pain-free way to tackle any unwanted hairs that pop out of nowhere. The wide dual head design and floating heads adjust to the curves of your skin. Gentle enough to use on your upper lip, knees and ankles, and even your bikini line. No nicks, cuts or irritation. Remove unwanted hairs anytime, anywhere with the new U Body and Face Trimmer. Only $19.99 from Asda, Boots, Morrison's, Tesco and JMLDirect.com. JML, your Christmas made easier.
People from quake-hit Vanuatu arrived in Brisbane on Thursday. Rescue efforts continue in Port Phillip and other earthquake-affected areas of Vanuatu. The earthquake hit at a depth of 57 kilometers and was centered 30 kilometers west of Vanuatu, a group of 80 islands home to about 330,000 people. The Chief Superintendent of Queensland Fire and Rescue, Douglas May, has said his team had seen several major collapse sites where buildings have fully pancaked down. Listen in.
The heat and humidity right now is quite extreme, so we're having to adjust our operations in order to suit that, and we're running much shorter shifts and then trying to cool people down with ice baths and so on, keep that under control. And then the communications systems are down here at the moment, so we're now fully reliant on our satellite and radio communications, which has taken a little while to set up, so it slows things down considerably. And then generally just connecting with a disaster management organisation which speaks another language, and so we've been working closely with them and the local military and police.
A thick blanket of smog has engulfed Bosnia's capital of Sarajevo. Flights have been grounded and residents have been advised to stay indoors. The Swiss air quality technology company IQ Air put Sarajevo's air quality index at a very unhealthy 225, ranking the city as the third most polluted in the world currently. Nestled in a valley surrounded by mountains, Sarajevo is particularly prone to air pollution. Bad urban planning and proliferation of tall buildings have made the problem worse in recent years.
Ovo je grozno, uguš, pogotovo srčane bolesnike. Vidite, ja jedva dišem, jedva teško izgovaram. Ovo je katastrofa, niko ništa ne radi povodom ovoga, stvarno ovo je, ja ne mogu da vjerujem da se ovo događa u glavnom gradu Bosne i Hercegovine, da ne mogu ništa da napravi i da učini, da ovo malo, šta ja znam, ne znam, teško je, teško.
The winter storm has brought along with it snowfall and strong winds to the upper Midwest, slowing traffic and forcing North Dakota officials to shut down an interstate highway. The National Weather Service issued a winter storm warning for Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Dakotas, where some interstates were covered with snow. Several slide-offs were reported, causing injuries, but there was no immediate reports of harm or death. Up to 7 inches of snow engulfed Minnesota, including the Twin Cities, where several accidents were reported as snowfall intensified. Starbucks baristas will launch 5 days of strikes Friday after accusing the coffee giant of stalling union contract negotiations. Starbucks Workers' Union said late Thursday that its members will walk out of union stores in Los Angeles, Chicago and Seattle, 3 major markets beginning Friday morning. The strikes over pay and other benefits are expected to expand each subsequent day through Christmas Eve, reaching hundreds of locations from coast to coast. Amazon workers across 7 facilities in New York, Georgia, California, and Illinois are on strike to lobby for better benefits, higher wages, and safer working conditions. Now, the strike, organized by members of the Tea Masters Union, is intended to pressure Amazon to come to the negotiating table and avoid disruptions during the peak of holiday shopping season. The union had previously given Amazon until Sunday to agree to a bargaining dates for a contract.
And we're here to support. These people are not getting a fair contract. They're not even negotiating with them. So this is an unfair labor practices, a ULP strike right now, and we're going to be out here for as long as it takes.
FedEx has announced the much-anticipated spin-off of its freight truck division on Thursday as it restructures operations to focus on its core delivery business. Share jumped 8% in the after hours of trading, adding $5 billion to FedEx's market cap. Analysts believe the spin-off could unlock up to $20 billion in shareholder value, while clearing the way for FedEx management to zero in on merging operations of its separate express and ground units to boost profits. Nike offered a muted forecast on Thursday, reversing gains in its shares made earlier in the day after the embattled sportswear sellers' quarterly results beat estimates. The Beaverton, Oregon-based sportswear company, which has been scrambling to regain market dominance in the face of intensifying competition, predicted revenue would fall by low double digits in the third quarter. Analysts on average had expected revenue to fall 7.65% to $11.48 billion for the current quarter, according to data compiled by LSEG. The dollar was set to cap the week on a strong note on Friday as it was perched near a two-year high bolstered by a hawkish US rate outlook, while the yen struggled to stay afloat as it again weakened to a new low. Currencies took a breather after huge moves in the previous session, sparked by a broad rally in the greenback that drove its peers to milestones low, with South Korea once sinking to a 15-year trough, the Canadian dollar trembling to its weakest in more than 4 years, and the Australian and New Zealand dollars hitting two-year lows. The US Department of Commerce has reportedly asked NVIDIA to investigate how its products ended up in China over the past year. In response, NVIDIA has asked major distributors, including Supermicro Computers and Dell Technologies, to conduct spot checks in their customers in Southeast Asia. The Biden administration has intensified its crackdown on chip exports to China. Last year, the US expanded a ban on selling high-end AI chips to the country. Democratic Senator Ed Markey and Republican Senator Rand Paul have cancelled on President Joe Biden to extend the January 19 deadline for TikTok's U.S. asset sale by 90 days. The deadline requires China-based ByteDance to sell TikTok's U.S. assets or face a potential ban. The U.S. Supreme Court had announced that it would review TikTok and ByteDance's legal challenge. Now, the companies are seeking an injunction to stop the looming ban on forced sale. The court has scheduled arguments for the 10th of January. Amazon has said it will implement safety measures at all of its U.S. facilities to settle a federal agency's claim that it failed to prevent workers from developing back problems and other ergonomic injuries. Amazon settled a series of complaints by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration involving 10 facilities across the country, which were set to go to trial before administrative judges next year. Space startups in Japan and India had agreed to jointly study using laser-equipped satellites to remove debris from orbit. It will be an experimental approach to the increasingly imminent problem of orbital congestion. Tokyo-based Orbital Lasers and Indian robotics company InSpace City said they would study business opportunities for in-space services. Now, services may include deorbiting and defunct satellites and extending a spacecraft's life. Reigning world champions Argentina are still on the top of FIFA Men's World Rankings. This marks the second consecutive year that they've held the top spot. Lionel Scaloni's team recently won their 16th Copa America title and leads the rankings ahead of France in the second place. Euro 2024 winner Spain hold the third spot. The top 10 remains unchanged, with England, Brazil and Portugal following closely. Angola made the biggest leap this year, jumping 32 places to finish 85th. The confusion surrounding where will the ICC Champions Trophy will be held has finally concluded. The ICC has said in a statement that Men's Championship Trophy 2025 will be played across Pakistan at a neutral venue. All India versus Pakistan cricket matches in the ICC events hosted by the two countries will now be played at neutral values till 2027. Director James Gunn has allowed comic book fans their first glimpse of his Superman with the teaser trailer. The much-loved character is played by American actor David Cornsweet, with Rachel Brosnahan playing Louis Lane to his Clark Kent. Nathan Fillion, Sarah Sampaio and Wendell Pierce also star in the film, which is set for a July 11 release.
Crypto. Home. Baby, home.
This is an urgent appeal to support children in Yemen. Years of conflict have caused devastating shortages of food and water and pushed the health system to the brink of collapse. With support from people like you, we can help many more children recover and thrive. Just £10 could help provide life-saving therapeutic food for one child for 1 week. Search UNICEF Yemen online, text Yemen to 85525 or scan the QR code to find out how you can help.
There once was a tree lovingly made to look so real, it created real memories. balsamhill.co.uk.
So you want the confidence to hit that high note? Here's how. Get the Harry's trial set. For just $3.95, you'll get our new trim and razor, shave gel and travel cover. With our new razor, even your 8th shave will be as smooth as your first. Its 5 German-engineered blades are our sharpest yet. Now with your newfound confidence, that high note is there for the taking. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
What's wrong with the car? It's okay, lads. I'm with the AA. Ah, Bombay mix.
Because the AA has more expert patrols across the country, you'll be back on the road in no time. No wonder more people choose the AA. Join today.
However your home uses the internet, EE has the perfect Wi-Fi for you. We've got full fiber for only $30.99 a month. Perfect for binging all your favorite shows. Keep your whole home seamlessly connected with the UK's most reliable broadband technology, powered by BT. And if that's still not enough, you can upgrade to Wi-Fi 7, where everything you love works better. We'll even handle the switch for you. No wonder families choose EE. Search EE Broadband Deals.
Get comfy this Christmas with Pillow Pad Fold Away from JML, the multi-angle viewing stand that makes any device easy to see, comfortable and hands-free. The plush microfiber ledge holds any device securely at the perfect viewing angle, and it comes with a handy storage compartment. It's a great gift for sofa surfers. Whether you're sitting, lounging or lying down, get the perfect view with Pillow Pad Fold Away. Only $19.99 from Asda, Boots, Dunelm, Tesco and jmldirect.com.
I now request the Honourable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
एक ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए।
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं।
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
A very good afternoon. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vadwa. Let's get your latest story, and that's refusing to be pushed back on the back foot after the filing of an FIR naming him as accused number 1 in the Formula E racing case. BRS leader KT Ramarao has spoken with NDTV's Uma Sudhir in an exclusive chat that the Congress has tried to put him on the mat over multiple issues in the last 1 year. In the Formula E case, he says it's at best an irregularity in procedure, not an illegality or embezzlement.
So the Congress government in Telangana has opened up multiple fronts against the opposition BRS after the FIR against Mr. KT Ramarao, who I have with me. Also, another SIT they are saying in the toll tenders that you had drawn up for the ORR, the outer ring road. Isn't this all setting you back politically?
Absolutely not. You know, the Congress party's governance in Telangana has been an abysmal failure. They promised the moon to the people before the elections. हथेली में जन्नत दिखा दिया, वोट तो ले लिया, गद्दी पे बैठ गए। बैठने के बाद नहीं समझ आ रहा है कि सरकार कैसे चलाए। तो पिछले 1 साल से जो चल रहा है तेलंगाना में वो सरकार नहीं है, सर्कस चल रहा है। When a clown enters a palace, as they say, you know, the whole government becomes a circus, and that's exactly what's happening in Telangana today. The Congress government is clueless on how to handle finances, on how to fulfill poll promises, how to deliver. So what do? They've been indulging in attention diversion tactics. They've been filing case after case. You know, they tried to go after me on multiple things. They tried to go after me saying, when my family was celebrating Diwali, they raided the place and they started calling it a rave party. And then they said my farm was illegal, dismantle it. Then they said the farmer incident, the farmer protest that happened in Kodangal, I was the chief conspirator. Then they tried to say some other nasty things through a lady minister. So this is like the 5th or 6th attempt now against me in 1 year. And I think it will only go on for the next 4 years. I'm not perturbed, I'm not disturbed. I will continue to remain unwavered with my focus on ensuring that the poll promises of Congress party are kept. No matter what they throw at us, we'll fight it legally, we'll fight it politically. Because today, if you take the example of the case in question, the Formula E race where an FIR has been filed. What is the...
That's what I'm saying. You are saying there is no embezzlement, but there is an irregularity in terms of the procedure that was followed for transferring the money. Isn't that something that can make you liable as well?
Well, simple question. You know, ACB is the abbreviation for Anti-Corruption Bureau. When there is no embezzlement, when there is no corruption, where is the question of Anti-Corruption Bureau investigating anything at all? If there is a procedural lapse, there are other agencies to look after it. So let the government actually pick the right agency at least. They don't even have the common sense कि किसको केस देना चाहिए. ऐसे लोगों से क्या बात करें हम लोग. इसीलिए I am going to the court of law, challenging this nonsensical FIR, and we'll certainly take it head on. See, the issue is simple. This government, like I said, is clueless on delivering promises. So therefore, they resort to these attention diversion tactics. No problem. We will face anything that gets thrown at us. Politically, legally, we'll fight back.
అందుకనే మనోడు ప్రతిసారి అరెస్ట్ చేసి చేసుకోండి, పెడితే కేసులు పెట్టుకోండి, ఏం పీక్కుంటారో పీక్కోండి అని ఇలాంటి మాటలు అందుకే వస్తున్నాయి అనేది మనకు దీని ద్వారా అవగతం అవుతున్నది. అంటే కాంగ్రెస్ ప్రభుత్వం ఆధారాలు లేకుండా స్పష్టమైన విచారణ మీద నమ్మకంతోనే ఎలాంటి చర్యలకైనా పూనుకుంటుంది. ఈ విషయాన్ని బీఆర్ఎస్ కానీ ఇతర ఎవరైనా కూడా ఆలోచించాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. ఊరికే బట్టగాల్చి మీదేసుడే, ఆధారాలు లేకుండా అరెస్ట్ చేసుడే అనేది కాంగ్రెస్ ప్రభుత్వం చేయదు. కాబట్టి కేటీఆర్ ఇష్టానుసారంగా ప్రజల నిధులను ప్రభుత్వం రూపంలో దుర్వినియోగం చేయడం అన్నది వాస్తవం.
And addressing Bihar's Business Connect in Patna, its director Adani Enterprises Pranav Adani, who's emphasized on Bihar's transformation and said while the Adani Group is already the largest private investor in Bihar, the group will now invest 23,000 crore rupees more in 3 sectors in Bihar and aims to create 27,000 more jobs with this fresh investment in the state of Bihar.
We are the largest private investor in Bihar. At last year's Bihar Business Connect, I had promised that I would keep coming back to you to update you on what we are doing in Bihar, and let me give you a snapshot of our current and future investment roadmap for Bihar. In 3 sectors, logistics, gas distribution, and agri-logistics, we have already invested in excess of 850 crore rupees and have created 25,000 direct and indirect employment opportunities. We are now going to invest an additional 2,300 crores in these sectors. This investment will not only massively increase our warehouse and handling capacity and expand our presence in the EV, CGD, and the CBG space, but will also generate an additional 25,000 direct and indirect local job opportunities. In addition, we are also working closely with your government to potentially invest another 1,000 crore rupees in developing strategic infrastructure in Bihar, like the Gati Shakti railway terminals, ICDs, the inland container depots, and the industrial warehousing parks. Another sector where we are investing is in the smart meter. As Bihar migrates from the conventional electric meters to smart meters, we have invested additional 2,100 crore rupees to install over 28 lakh smart meters to automate power consumption monitoring in 5 cities: Siwan, Gopalganj, Vaishali, Saran, and Samastipur. And this will generate approximately 4,000 local jobs in this technology segment. 5 months ago, at the end of July, we also entered another exciting space in Bihar, where the Honorable CM personally came and laid the foundation of our first greenfield cement plant since our acquisition of ACC and Ambuja Cements 2 years ago. The new project is in Varsaliganj. It is a cement grinding unit, and we have more coming on the way. We intend to invest 2,500 crore rupees in Bihar to set up the cement manufacturing capacity of 10 million metric tons per annum in multiple phases.
Let's get you some international news now. A citizen of Uzbekistan was charged and detained by a Russian court with a killing of senior Russian general with his assistant following a bombing with an electric scooter, which was later claimed by Ukraine's security services. He has been detained until the 17th of February following that bombing that killed the LG, the chief of Russia's radiation, biological and chemical protection forces. He was also charged with illegally manufacturing explosives. He was killed on Tuesday as he left his southeastern Moscow apartment by a bomb a day. This was a bomb after Ukraine's security. And this is a bomb that was placed in that scooter, and it is that resulted in his death. Ukrainian forces struck a petroleum plant in Russia's Rostov region overnight into Thursday. The operation was conducted by Marine Forces, Security Service and other branches of the army. The plant was the only operating oil refinery in Rostov region, and that is being used to supply Russia's armed forces. State Security Service of Ukraine provided a video claiming to show the petroleum plant up in flames. Vladimir Putin said that he's prepared to meet Donald Trump whenever, indicating potential openness to talks to end the Ukraine war. Speaking at his annual hours-long press conference, the Russian leader said Moscow is ready for compromises, and Kremlin sources believe that Putin is aiming for a ceasefire deal that could force Kiev to give up on its NATO ambitions and limit the size of its army. But only a fraction of modern wars have ended in negotiated settlements, and any resolution seems unlikely when one side thinks it can win outright.
Отношения друг друга и как мы делаем основано на полном доверии. Ну, во-первых, я не знаю, когда мы с ним встретимся, да, потому что он об этом ничего не говорит. Я с ним вообще не разговаривал более 4 лет, и я готов к этому, конечно, в любое время. Готов буду и ко встрече, если он захочет этого.
Putin boasted that his military operation in Ukraine has strengthened Russia and denied that the downfall of a key ally in Syria had dented Moscow's prestige as he sought to project the strength as far as and also the ease at his annual news conference at the call-in show that took place yesterday.
Ситуация меняется кардинально. Вы это хорошо знаете, я это просто хочу подтвердить. Движение идет по всей линии фронта, каждый день. И, как я уже говорил, речь идет не о продвижении не на 100, там 200, 300 метров. Наши бойцы забирают, возвращают территорию квадратными километрами. Хочу подчеркнуть, каждый день.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin described Israel as the main beneficiary of Assad's downfall, noting that the deployment of Israeli troops in southern Syria.
Ситуация меняется кардинально. Вы это хорошо знаете, я это просто хочу подтвердить.